Hi everybody, welcome to Quarantine Kitchen. This is episode 8 and I'm your host Clinton. So I've been spending a lot of time thinking about what I should be making and showing you guys. And I've been really interested in recipes that are traditional from my country and the country we live in because I think that it's a great idea to be going after those recipes during quarantine because a lot of time they're using traditional or local ingredients and so they're easy to source. So one of those recipes that I love so much is onion soup. And we are in France, and you guys might be thinking, onion soup, oh, French onion soup, that must be what you're doing tonight. But actually, I'm going to be doing something a little bit from my home tonight. We're going to be making Norwegian onion soup, which is almost the same thing with a little bit of variation to it. Onions should be something that I think most of you should be able to find, and honestly, it is the easiest thing in the world to make, and it only takes a little bit of your time. So we're going to go ahead and do it tonight together. So, let's start with the ingredients as we always do. You need onions, of course. They can be white or red, it doesn't matter. You need butter, garlic, and thyme. Now we're using dry thyme because that's what I have, but if you have fresh sprigs of thyme, that's even better. You need some type of broth. We're using chicken broth, but you can use vegetable broth if you want to make this a vegetarian dish, or beef broth, whatever you want. This is optional, it's for the end, and you add it for taste. Apple cider vinegar, if you have it, I highly suggest you use it. It's what gives it its unique taste. And of course, salt and pepper. And that's it. Everything you need is there. So, let's go ahead and start. You're going to use a big pot to make your soup. I am using this one. We're going to put it low or on high heat. Take your about 10 grams of butter and melt it in the pan. Melt it completely down. And we're using the pot because we're going to saute the onions and garlic in the butter until they're golden brown, and then we're going to add our soup base on top of that. Now we let the butter melt. I'm just going to show you guys real quick because before we recorded, I went ahead and cut the onions beforehand. To cut the onions, the best way to do this to get that flavor and that consistency that, if you're familiar with onion soup, that we like so much, you're going to go ahead and peel your onion, of course, cut it in half, and then slice it very finely. I've done that here. Garlic. I recommend actually you put your garlic in as 2 whole pieces of garlic. I've chopped mine into slices, which is fine as well, but whole pieces of garlic work well. All right, now that our butter is pretty much melted, I'm going to bring the temperature down a little bit. And you're going to take 5 finely sliced onions, large onions, and you're going to take your garlic, just 2 whole cloves of garlic. Again, I've sliced mine. And we're going to saute these onions in the butter for about 5-6 minutes. It depends how long it takes for you, but basically you want your onions to be a nice golden sauteed brown. That'll give your soup the flavor that we're shooting for. And then you can go ahead and add your thyme sprigs. Now, like I said, ours is dry. If you have fresh, that's even better. Add it in there and just saute it up. If you feel like it's a little dry, you can add a little bit more butter to it. I tend to do that.
A little while later.
Okay, so now we've had our onions cooking for a little bit. They're golden brown. Let's take a look. Starting to look good. We're getting the smell of that garlic and the thyme all in there. Our next step, we're going to add a little bit of pepper. It's for taste, so there's not a precise amount to put in. And then sea salt flakes. If you don't have sea salt flakes, your normal salts will work just fine. And then you're going to saute it now with the salt and pepper for 2 to 3 minutes. While that's going, you guys can go ahead and make your broth if you haven't already. We've prepared 1.5 liters of chicken broth that we did before we started the video. And once we have been cooking this for 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to go ahead and add the broth directly with the onions. And we're going to simmer it for 20 minutes. So we'll do that just in a few minutes.
3 minutes later.
All right, now that it's been cooking for a few minutes, we're going to add our 1.5 liters broth. There we go. We're almost done. Now, put your heat on medium-high, which we have already, and you're going to let it simmer in those juices for 20 minutes.
20 minutes later.
All right, so it has simmered for about 20 minutes, which means it's just about done. It smells amazing. Take your apple cider vinegar and add 2 tablespoons. Mix it all up. Very distinctly changes the smell of your soup. And voila, it's finished. You can go ahead and serve it, and we'll do a taste test. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try our onion soup. It's scalding hot, so try not to burn myself here. Yeah, it's perfect. It's been a gloomy day here in Paris, so it definitely heats you up, and it's a nice one.